OEB 2015, the 21st edition of this esteemed e-learning conference. So it's been a really packed day. I think I've been to 4 or 5 talks. We've had keynotes, we've had workshops, sessions, panels, debates, all sorts really. The first keynote, there was 3 speakers, first being David Price from a company called We Do Things Differently. His talk was all based around people-powered innovation. Jugaad, a Hindi word, meaning making the most, all the concept of making the most of what you've got. He talked about hacking and that sort of thing. Cory Doctorow, the activist and science fiction writer, he talked about digital pathogens, the idea of agency, taking responsibility for not only your learning but also your relationship with technology. Ian Golden, my favourite quote of his was, "This is the age of discovery, this is the new renaissance." Very powerful stuff. He was a very, very good speaker, and he sort of started off very positively, talked about this is the best time to be alive in terms of technological innovation, poverty's at its lowest. Obviously there's a lot more to do in that respect, but then it kind of took a darker turn when he talked about the Black Death and the idea of spreading not just ideas but also disease. But then he finished it off quite positively, and it was a very inspiring talk. I then went to a session around L&D strategies. Monica Weber-Farr from the World Bank talked about how to overcome cognitive biases. So many cognitive biases. You wonder if any of your thoughts are actually your own, or whether it's just been ideas you've always had that you and you never get influenced by anyone else. Robin Russell talked about e-learning in the FA, which is very interesting. I'm surprised there aren't more people from the world of sport talking at these things. I mean, obviously there's people from sport who have performance consultancies and that side of things, the resilience side of things, but the physical coaching side of it, I think would be extremely useful. When you train for sport, you don't just train the once, and so that really plays into the idea that you shouldn't, maybe you do, but you shouldn't go on one training session and then never think about it again. So this idea of continuous improvement is very, very applicable from the world of sport into the world of business. He talked about drones being used in football matches, and then people being able to check the streams on their smartphones. It was really very interesting, quite incredible the things they're doing these days. My next talk was with Clark Quinn and Laura Overton, who sort of dissected Jay Cross's new book. It's called Real Learning, and it's just stacked full of ideas of how to embed learning in the workplace, but also your own learning, your own self-directed learning. The title of the talk was Getting Self-Directed Learning to Work, and it really did what it said on the tin. The last talk was about storytelling. Gemma Critchley from BP and Julie Wedgwood, they talked about storytelling. They dug a bit deeper into storytelling flowcharts, how to ask open questions, talking about workplace stories, how to use your subject matter experts. It was a really, really good end to the day. And then the very final thing was the debate. And the motion was 21st century skills are not being taught, they should be. I think the people kind of took the opportunities to really talk about their own agendas in the context of the motion, but it was all right. Themes so far. I've heard critical thinking being talked about a lot. I've also heard self-direction being talked about a lot. Working out loud as well, this idea of open collaboration and sharing. And the growth mindset has kind of crept in there a couple of times too. So already some ideas coming out of the conference, which I think we're going to see carry on tomorrow as well. So it's been a very interesting day. Right, I'm going to the bar.